So Ryan, you had this fairly recent YouTube video, and you posted about it on Instagram about something like I failed at social media. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What was that about?
So it was actually I failed at YouTube. And so I've had a YouTube channel for 7 years, and I've always wanted to have this like YouTube following. I think YouTube's really cool.
Yeah.
And so I posted consistently, and it never really grew. You know, maybe I got to 1,000 subscribers, which is more than most, but it wasn't getting all the attention that I wanted until I did what I was supposed to. And I learned on YouTube, and I had stopped posting for about 6 months, and then I started posting again consistently. And by doing what I was supposed to, within 3 weeks of doing what I was supposed to, I got monetized. And so I went from like, I needed, I think 2,000 hours of watch time over 365 days. I got that within 3 weeks to get me over the 4,000 I needed, got monetized, and it kind of kept going from there.
Nice. So it's funny because we were, I want to get into some of the things you did, because I can tell you we focused like almost exclusively on podcast from like 2015 or 2016, whenever we started the show, up until the end of 2024, right? So we had YouTube.
And I think that's when I met you and was like, hey man, you should do YouTube with this.
Yeah,
you're already doing it.
And it was like, here's kind of a dumb thing, to be honest with you. I kind of thought we were, and I wasn't monitoring it, and you know, I started to monitor it, and it was weird. Like, it was almost like I call it like a zombie channel almost. Like, we were posting to it, we weren't doing jack squat with it. The numbers on YouTube were nothing compared to the podcast. And I was like, what the hell? So we made some massive tweaks, and now we're not at your numbers, but we're definitely our increase has been like, I don't know, 5,000%. I mean, it's been like a massive increase, but it's because we're doing little tweaks, little bitty tweaks. Like we can talk about some of the things like we were doing. Like, I'm really curious. Like, I think your content is like just amazing. Like, you do framing really well with like how to do the shots and stuff like that. And so
you want me to tell you what I did?
Yeah, before you do though, because like I don't think it's all about like the quality of the video.
It's not.
Like, I think it's like other small things.
That's nothing of what I changed.
Okay, because that was what I asked you about. So let's hear.
Like, I just have an expensive camera. I have the camera background. Obviously, I shoot videos for people, so that I knew wasn't the thing. The thing was, first off, the most important thing was, I call it a platypus channel. So my channel had a little bit on marketing. It had a little bit on videography. It had a little bit on camera gear review. So the algorithm doesn't know who to put this in front of, because it's for everybody. So I went super specific and said, this is for small business owners trying to grow and learn. And then I got even more niche and said, they're small business owners wanting to use social media for marketing. And then I only made content for that over and over and over again. So now they're like, I know who to post this. I know who to put this in front of. That was step one. Step two, it doesn't matter how good of your video is if nobody clicks it. So the title and thumbnail are so important. The packaging of it is the most important thing after you kind of figure out your niche and stick to it.
You figured out the niche, and then, like, I guess, how do you convey that to YouTube to make sure that YouTube understands, other than like the actual video, right? I'm talking about how do you indicate that to YouTube?
So you just do it over and over again, and you don't stray. But I found outliers. So I said, this other channel is like me. Every time they post a video like this, it's an outlier. It outperforms everything else around their channel. So that means it's good.
Yeah.
I should probably do that in my own words and use their, either it's the topic or the title or the thumbnail or all of the above, and try to figure out why that's an outlier for them and repackage it in my own words.
Well, like, how important is the description part of it?
None. I don't change the description now. The description for every video is exactly the same for me.
Really?
And Tiff and everyone I work with, it's always the same.
Is it like a call to action?
100%. So the first
line, you don't do any different. It's the exact same thing.
The description for me now, the first thing that you see is my lead magnet. The second thing you see is my paid option. And then I have like some SEO filler below it. So it's like for Tiff, it's like Tiffany Weber is a real estate attorney in Mooresville, North.
You're pissing me off because we spend way too much time on this.
I used to, and I stopped, and my numbers did not change, and I actually started getting more conversions of people getting my lead magnet.
So what's in your description?
That's it.
That's it.
So call to action for lead magnet, that's free. Call to action for buy my stuff. SEO filler. The end.
Is that like all the big channels are doing?
Mm-hmm. Go look at Alex Ramosey's. All of his descriptions are exactly the same. Every single one. That's that. It's buy my books. Here's the free thing. Here's this. Here's a description about Alex's history and background. The end.
I have learned like to just go rip off what other people are doing. Like, you know, like see what's working and just rip that off. I've done that. Like the thumbnails and stuff. Like we have our own unique thumbnail, but we try to make it where it's like it's clickable, right? It's like, so we have two versions of the same thumbnail we're using. We use a picture of the guest for the most part. We'll have a picture of you. We'll put you on there, and it is like whatever the main thing of this discussion, like main like takeaway, is usually like what's in the big bold part of it's like that's the word, but it's a part of a sentence. It's kind of like it's kind of clickbait.
Podcast quotes work really well. So if there's like a really bold statement or interesting quote, or it needs to relate to the title to make you interested to want to click and learn more. So it can't be the same. So, you know, what I used to do is have the words be exactly the same. So if I'm saying like how to do social media on YouTube, I would be like YouTube social media or something like that in the thumbnail. And that's wrong. It should be like, it's so easy. Sure. And then the title is better.
Something else we've learned too is the title consistency and to the thumbnail, where like, it's
so important.
It's because otherwise it clashes.
I spend over 50% of the time on the video on the title and the thumbnail.
Wait, no.
Yes.
No.
I'm not joking.
Why?
Because it's so important.
Okay.
It's so important. The title of the video is literally the most important thing, because the video doesn't matter if no one clicks it. So you actually don't need to spend time on the video if the title and the thumbnail is not going to get someone to click it. So you're wasting your time making videos unless someone actually watches it. So I go title first. I go thumbnail concept second. That's 50% of my thought process. And so that gives me my topic. Then I go intro, and I spend 25% of my time on the intro, and the last 25% is actually recording the video.
Wow.
And the edit doesn't matter.
Are you recording a separate intro from the video?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is all new for me.
And that's something that like we had a training in the guild, and
you want the framework for it?
Yeah.
Here you go.
That's fantastic. I didn't know you had
3 P's.
Okay. P's, 3 P's.
20 seconds or less.
3 P's, 20 seconds or less.
Pain, proof, promise.
Okay.
So example for this one, if I were doing something for my channel around social media, I'd say law firm owners want to get on social media, but they don't have enough time and don't know what to do. I've recorded over 10,000 videos, a lot of them for law firm owners, and I know exactly what you need to do to put in your videos in the least amount of time possible. So stick around in this video and I'll give you the 5 things you need to know to make sure you have an effective social media strategy with little time.
Okay.
That was less than 20 seconds. Pain was, I want to record videos, but I don't have time. I don't know what to do. Proof, I've done it. And then the promise is what you're going to get in the video.
All right, give me a very short answer on this one, because there's a reason I want to ask you this. So I want you to think about like if there's like one thing like you really want to talk about in this episode that you really want to get out. I want you to look at that camera and do the 3 P's, because we'll use that for this video.
I don't know.
The pressure is on.
I don't.
You didn't know that any of this was. Here's like you didn't even know we were going to record this until about midnight, maybe last night.
I mean, I don't know where we're going to take the conversation, so it's hard. I actually record these at the end.
Yeah.
So I record my whole video first, then I go back and record the intro last.
What do you know the most about, like other than gyms? I know you know about gyms.
I think it's probably around like content, marketing, branding, how it all kind of aligns to grow a small business.
Okay. So we'll talk about that.
Do you want me to try it?
Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
By the way, this is not scripted.
No.
This is something that is completely off the cuff.
All right. law firm owners are struggling to grow their business because they don't build a brand that's long lasting. I actually have built a YouTube channel for my wife, who is a lawyer, that has over 85,000 subscribers. So in this video, I'm going to talk to Tyson, and we're going to show you what we're doing to build a brand for a lawyer that helps actually grow the business and make her more money.
I love it.
I would clean it up, but like that's generally it.
Well, that's that's right off the cuff. You didn't even skip a beat on that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I've recorded a lot of videos.
That's pretty good. Okay, but let's go. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
All right. So the branding, marketing, whatever the hell you said. We'll get to that in a little bit.
It doesn't matter.
It does, because they're gonna think we're gonna talk about that. So
clickbait.
Yeah. Back to the YouTube. So, are there advanced tools and stuff you get as you get higher in like the subscribers and all that and the views that like the peasants like us like
do you have the A/B testing on the thumbnails?
So that's what I was gonna ask you, if there's A/B testing. I don't know, because Sharon takes care of like the thumbnails and stuff.
So now you can upload 3 thumbnails at once and just let YouTube choose which one performs and just let it run. So I like to do either 3 different variations of the text or 3 different variations of the photo or background color, but just do like 3 small changes.
Yeah.
And just let YouTube pick.
Have you thought about going back and reviving old videos, like by changing?
I have, and I just don't have the time.
Because I thought it'd be really cool. There's an AI idea where you go fix my old videos. If that would be kind of cool.
Well, I mean, I know for a fact that old videos still work. Like one of our best, the reason Tiff's channel is so big, the thing that like popped was a video that was posted 2 years prior to when it popped. I did nothing to it. It just happened.
You have no idea why?
No, I wish I could tell you. It's like pure luck, algorithm luck.
I mean, I don't understand. That makes 0 sense to me.
I 100% agree with you.
Was it after? Do you know if it was after like an algorithm change or something?
Don't know. Like,
that is wild. It makes no sense to me.
I was sitting there on a Saturday morning and I looked down at my phone and I'm like, Tiff, you just got like 20 comments on this one video. So I clicked in the analytics and it's literally just a straight line up. And we got like,
know who Tiffany is? Did you say that's your wife?
No, I have a wife. Her name's Tiffany.
Yeah. So it's she owns the real estate firm. And so you handle the marketing side of stuff. Yeah. Make sure people know who Tiff is. Yeah. Like, tell the YouTube channel what that channel is, so that, because it is, if you're, I mean, as a lawyer, like it is, that should, to me is like, that's the standard.
Yeah. It's The Real Estate Lawyer. Good title.
Yeah.
And literally she goes in and tries to educate buyers and agents on complex real estate topics or really like things you would need in real estate closings.
Okay. I wonder, I've asked this question of several people and I get kind of mixed answers. Do you think it's important to have a person behind it, or can the firm it can be like the firm name?
We've toyed around with, we've struggled with that. And so from a branding perspective on YouTube, I think it's easier to build one person, but then at the same time, you get the key man risk of just one person.
Sure, yeah.
So what we do is YouTube is Tiff's. We bring in our other attorneys to be guests so that they can have the presence. But she is the host and the main person. Think about Dave Ramsey, same thing. Like it's Dave Ramsey, but he brings in all of his people.
Yeah.
And then on our Instagram, we bring in the same thing, because if Tiff already has the brand, if you just sit down and talk with Tiff, then you're related to her. You know, you're trusted. And so people automatically build the trust with the person that's brought on. And so we use Instagram to try and like build the trust with our other attorneys more. And we use YouTube as like Tiff's big, because it's not as local. Yeah. Instagram's more local.
What are some other things you're doing with the YouTube channel to make it better?
That's the main.
It really is simple, right?
I don't post shorts anymore. We stopped posting shorts.
Okay, so that's where I'll disagree with you on the strategy. Because
all shorts do. Here's the reason.
They filter back to they get you back. Okay, let's hear.
Here's the reason why. Yeah. Shorts give you views. It gives you subscribers. But a short form viewer does not watch long form videos. So if you get someone from a short and they go to the long form video, they don't want to sit around and watch 10, 20 minutes, typically if they came from a short form platform.
And so just make sure we're specific, because we're talking about specifically like the 60-second shorts. We're not talking about like the 5-minute ones.
Correct.
Because that's not a short to me.
Because if you're a viewer of 60-second content, you don't want to watch 10-minute content.
Okay. I may, or I don't know. I feel like the shorts have been a really big part of our strategy.
It will grow views, it will grow subscribers. But if you look at your long form videos, is the long form numbers increasing, and is the calls to action on your long form increasing? Because that's what I care about.
Okay, and I want to. So something I want to talk about too is like, what like does any of this lead to clients? And I think that I'm of the
my channel, my little tiny YouTube channel, 3,900 subscribers right now. I've only been consistent for about 2 months. I think I've posted 20 videos in 2 months. 3 months, 20 videos. I've gotten 70 leads to my free lead magnet, 100% from YouTube, because I've only posted that lead magnet on YouTube.
So this is gonna prove my point.
Okay.
Not about the shorts being right, but the other point, which is I'm gonna contradict myself in a second about the importance of shorts. I think the shorts are important for driving traffic for the channel and content. All those statistics, all those numbers. But I actually think that if you talk to someone at YouTube and it's like, the algorithm helps with us. But
I have a guy that I pay that's a YouTube strategist.
Okay,
that
cool.
I'm paying a lot.
Well, here's my thought. I've been of this opinion for a long time.
Okay.
A lot of these shorts don't lead to clients. The shorts don't lead to clients. They just don't, unless you get them back to the freaking main channel. That's why you see all these call them TikTok lawyers that go and it all has to filter back to something else. If it doesn't, that's why they all talk about like all parts of law, and they don't talk about like niches, but it all has to direct back to something else. Because like you talk about Jim's his YouTube channel, all the TikToks, it leads back to his show and stuff. He's all trying to get them to go to the show. He got this there's going to be a funnel involved with it. A short is not directly going to lead to a case, for the most part.
The two things that I think about is average view duration. So if you're a short form viewer, you have a short average view duration. When you go to my long form videos, you bring my average view duration down, which is going to hurt the algorithm for me.
Yep.
And then second thing, the old adage of like, you need 7 to 14 touches of a person. You'd think like, hey, shorts will work. I get more touches. It's kind of flipped. It's more about time consuming you. So if a short is 30 seconds, yes,
that's what they call it. So session time.
So it's now like 2 to 3 hours with a person. So if I can do 10 long form videos that are 20 minutes long and that's what they watch, or I'd have to do like 200 short form videos to get the same result.
That's why I think the shorts are going to be important because of the session time, because that's a recent change with YouTube, where that's why they want to make sure you have all the cards at the end pointing back to something, one of your, like having all that optimized, but then also different playlists, make sure different playlists for all your stuff. I can't remember what else there's other ways of like improving session time where like they're staying on you like that. Yeah. That's an important part of it.
I mean, the guy that is our short form editor, he's been with me since 2018, and he just stopped working with us for Tiff's channel. He has 1.7 million YouTube subscribers and he only does shorts.
That's wild. But does it lead to results for him?
Well, he doesn't have a business. His business is content.
Oh, okay.
But he makes $30,000 a month from his YouTube shorts. So there's his business.
And we cut this part out if you don't want to, but like because you all make money off the YouTube channels, right?
Not much.
Not, but you still make money off. I think
when it was bigger. So when we were getting more views on long form videos, I think our biggest month was like $1,600. Right now at this current day, it actually over the last 28 days is only like $450.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't think the amount matters. I just think it's an interesting thing that you're doing it for business purposes anyways, but you also get paid for that. So it's a nice.
We get about 15 phone calls a week because of our videos. Now, I don't know if that's YouTube. I don't know if it's Instagram, but I mean, I was talking to you this morning. I spent about $450 on ads for another practice. Well, that money came directly from YouTube. So
you said 33 to 1 return or something?
I have a 33 to 1 ROI for the ads right now.
It's pretty good.
So I took the free money that YouTube paid me, I spent it in ads, and now I've gotten $14,000 from that ad spend that YouTube paid me the $450 to spend on ads. That's how I use it.
I'm gonna shift gears because you have an airplane to catch in a little bit. So I want to talk about Hormozy.
Okay.
Did you know you were going to be on the show?
No.
Okay, so you sent me that clip. You said only listen to the first 3 minutes, and I was like, why would I want to listen to just the 3 minutes? And then I quickly learned why. You want to talk about that?
Sure.
What was the clip about? Tell people the clip. We can put it in the show notes.
Yeah. So
this is why I think the description is important. You put the show notes in there.
Yeah. Maybe. I've had this maybe existential crisis might be the easiest way to explain it over the past 2 years. So we own the law firm. It crushes it. It does great. I also own the marketing company. Once again, crushes it, does great. I've always loved working with my wife, and I've always thought like my skill set, I mean, any law firm, if you have someone that's really good at marketing and you bring them in and they put all of their effort into it, your business is going to grow really well. So my question to him was basically like, hey, I have this law firm. Should I go all into the law firm and stop doing my marketing company? Should I go all in on the marketing company? Should I hire someone to run the marketing company? And that's basically been like my internal conflict over the last 2 years, because I know I can go into the law firm and kill it, but I have this other thing that's making me a bunch of money on the side. It's not on the side. It's my full-time gig, but my company is 7 times smaller than the law firm. So what if I took all of my hours and just put it in the law firm? Would we grow faster? The Weber family in general, would we grow faster? I don't know. Like I've struggled with this for a while.
Yeah. You want to give away the goods on what Hormozy said?
Yeah. So he said, shut down the marketing company and go 100% in the law firm.
And do you agree with that?
I didn't. I'm not doing that.
Okay. I want to hear why.
So I think what he really means is you should put 100% of your focus on one thing. You shouldn't have your focus split. So while I agree that if I only put my focus on the law firm, it would grow. But at the same time, if I say Tiff runs it and she's killing it, and I put all of my focus on my marketing company, I can double the marketing company, and I already have super high profit margins.
They're ridiculously high margins. Yeah. They're really good.
And so if I look at it, if Tiff and I are only pulling from one income source, aka the law firm, if we have a bad year, the Weber family struggles.
Yeah.
But if I have the marketing company that can help keep everything consistent, then I'd rather pull money from 2 different areas rather than put all of my eggs in one basket.
I think it's fair. I mean, I gave you my thoughts. It's one of those things, like, it's hard to, like, I think it's easy to say, hey, like, I disagree with this, 100 millionaire or whatever.
Yeah. Like him sitting up there on stage making 200 million a year. It's easy to be like, yeah, shut down your business.
My issue with what he said was 2 things, right? I told you he was very quick to dismiss it, but it also seemed to contradict the way he operates. Mm-hmm. And that's why I was like, kind of like, because you had proposed, what do you think about like an owner operator situation where you're the owner, so and then you take and you hire an operator, mm-hmm. and the operator runs everything,
and it makes plenty of money to do that.
And it really wouldn't. It seems like it'd be fairly easy to do that, mm-hmm. But he just didn't. My problem was he didn't give any thought at all, and it seems flat out no. And here's the thing, I may completely misunderstand his model, but from talking to you, from talking to Paul Yogabitis, from listening to Hormozy, I feel like I have a decent idea. And it seems like you proposed the exact same thing that he does, and he didn't give it a thought. Like, it was very quick. The response, you said it wasn't edited. So it's like, that was my issue with it. He just didn't give it a thought.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with him if his philosophy was you need to put all your eggs in one or like put all your focus in one thing. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But if my wife is able to manage that all by herself and doesn't need my help, then she's already a client. Just let her continue being a client. If she wants more marketing help, pay more money.
But here's where I think it makes sense to do the operator, because you're still focusing on the firm.
Yes.
You're just still making money off of the marketing company. Mm-hmm. That's what's kind of weird to me, is like nothing really changes with his opinion other than the fact you're not closing the marketing company, mm-hmm. is what it'd be.
Yeah. I agree way more with you. Like, if I found an operator or someone to take me way out of the day-to-day, and those extra hours I gain, I can put 100% focus into the law firm in those extra hours, I think it would be the biggest ROI for me.
So if you are living in North Carolina and you want to maybe be an operator at the lake, Mooresville, is it? So here's I got to ask you about this. That's a sidetrack. But if you're interested, reach out to Ryan. Yeah. But you call it Mooresville? Mm-hmm. Like, we have the Lake of the Ozarks. Is Mooresville the lake, or like I just don't understand. It's like there's a bunch of little towns around
Lake
the
Norman is the lake.
Okay.
And Mooresville is a city at the lake, and it's the largest city at the lake.
Okay, got it. So it's like, all right. So that's what.
So if you're saying you're coming to the lake,
yeah,
you're probably going within like a 5-mile stretch.
Gotcha. I am fairly sure, and I'm somewhat embarrassed to admit this. I'm pretty sure there's a town around Lake of the Ozarks called Lake Ozark. It's a tiny town, but there's like other little bitty towns around the Lake of the Ozarks. That's why I didn't know if it was like, is it like the Mooresville Lake or something like that? But
it's like if you're in the Charlotte area, if you say I'm going to the lake, you are coming to Lake Norman.
Gotcha.
It's like 30 minutes north.
All right, let's give the people what they came here for, because you gave them the tease at the beginning. What talk about the branding and all that you promised at the beginning. The PPP, the P3
Yes, three P's, pain proof promise. So
yep.
If you're starting any sort of video, especially on YouTube, first thing you need to start is with the pain that the person is experiencing. So if you call out the pain as your hook, then you're getting them to buy into it. So if you are experiencing XYZ and want this, you're in the right place. Because we got to think of the title of our video needs to immediately get answered in the first 20 seconds.
Okay, but so you delivered that the 3 Ps in the intro, right? Or the lead into this and so at the beginning of the video. And so how does that relate to like the marketing, or I guess maybe it doesn't relate to the marketing, but like what's like the market? You talking about the marketing, the branding, and all that, how they're related? I can't remember what your intro was at this.
Yeah, point. And that's why I always record the intro after the whole video, right, so I know what we talk about. But yeah, I mean, I have the philosophy of like lawyer marketing's bad, and it's outdated.
What's bad about it? Let's start with that.
Because it's boring and it's outdated and it's stuffy and it's not relatable.
Are you specifically talking to like commercials or ads on Facebook?
I'm using generalities.
Okay.
So not all lawyers are bad, but
no, I get that. But like what marketing? I'm curious what marketing you see.
Oh, like, and don't get mad at me. I'm just saying like I would do things different, but like billboards, commercials, the mailers, basically any social media I see, websites, language, all of that I think is poor. It could be improved. I'm not saying the thing you're doing is bad. Like I think billboards would work, but I don't think you should have the same billboard as every other lawyer. Make it different, make it unique, make it stand out.
By the way, I don't disagree with you at all. I'm just trying to get some examples for people.
So like if you look at our social media, on the law firm social media, it's completely different than any other law firm social media. We're making jokes. We have a whole series going on right now where it's called Confessions at the Closing Table.
It's pretty good.
And it's just us telling silly stories, like parodies of conversations that happen at the closing table.
Do you have an acting background?
I do not.
Okay, because like you've done some ads. Maybe we could play the ad like right here, and Sharon can cut it in. Would you? Can I center it? So here's his ad. Boop. And then you're really good at it. And so is Tim had any background in acting?
No.
Because you have a really good presence on camera. So what is your advice to people on that? You gave me some good advice when we were shooting at some ads earlier.
Man, I don't even know what I say now. Talk to the camera as if it's just one person. So I imagine like if I'm making an ad for Tyson, like if Tyson's my avatar, a lawyer, that's personal injury, I'm literally thinking of Tyson in my brain. I'm saying, do you have a law firm that's doing well and you want to grow it more and you don't know what to do on social media? You're trying to grow your YouTube channel? Man, here's what I can do for you.
So the advice you gave me was think of a person that's been in that exact same situation and just say that.
Yeah, and most of the time telling those stories is way easier than trying to come up with stuff.
Yeah, it was really good. Your ads are really cool. And I don't want to get too far off in the weeds and stuff, but we were having a conversation about like polished, being too polished, not polished enough. How much, what matters? Like, does it matter like how you look on camera? And like talk about that part of it.
Yeah, I've actually like reverted some of the content. So like I've actually made it look worse than I could make it.
Yeah.
Because too polished makes it feel like an ad in a commercial. So if it looks more organic or natural or UGC, user generated content, generally performs better. So I've actually stopped making like the super high end stuff because it wasn't performing as well, and we've like dialed it back a little bit.
I do think a lot of people think, and I think it becomes like if you watch like Mr. Beast, right? Really, really highly produced. I feel like you either have to do that or you don't need much at all.
So like my YouTube channel, I used to edit a bunch, and now it's like we only do scale ins. I only use one camera. I have 3 different types of graphics or like things that we do, or text, whatever you want to call them. And that's it.
Yeah.
I don't have background music. I don't have sound effects. I don't have transitions. It's this.
Yes.
It's so basic.
Something we got rid of is on the videos, like no intros. We just jump straight into the content, which is, I think that's helped tremendously because it kind of like sucks people in a little bit. That's
I think if you went back and said, okay, now I'm going to do a 15-second intro based on what that conversation was, it would help set the stage for what that
even more. Instead of, so don't jump straight into it. Just you start with an intro.
You start with like, if this conversation, our podcast here, you sat down and said, you know, if you're looking for this, this, and this, I sat down with this guy and he's done this. So stick around and watch the whole episode. And you did that in 20 seconds.
So, this is a little inside baseball for everybody. We did that for a short amount of time because that was the original plan. And what ended up happening was I would record them weeks or months after we recorded.
Yeah, that's the problem. You got to do it right after.
So I was having to go back and re-listen to it or remember what I did. And then I didn't feel like it was super authentic. I just didn't feel like I was nailing it. So, I mean, I could try it again. It's one of those things where like I just didn't feel like it was very good. And because like we have like this new rule where it's like, if it's not really good or great, like it's not airing.
And podcasts are different too than like a regular YouTube video. So what we'll do with Tiff when she's doing podcasts with people, I'll just take like 2 or 3 of the sentences that I like the best, and I'll just put them at the beginning of the whole episode with no context. It's like interesting sentence, crazy statement, another one right into like, okay, so I'm here with blah, blah, blah.
You know, it's interesting. Like you have these massive contrasts. And so it's great to look at these bigger channels to get an idea, but it's like, if you we'll use the podcast, right? Like Joe Rogan still has like an intro video. He is the king of podcasts. He has by far the most. But if you have like Diary of a CEO, you ever watch any of that stuff? So I'm pulling this up now because I think he's the best. But Sean Ryan is amazing. Modern Wisdom, amazing. They're like their intros. Actually, Modern Wisdom jumps right in.
My First Million uses literally like half of a sentence.
That's a good one too. So here, I'm going to play the beginning of one of the Diary of a CEO videos because I think he is.
Don't they just use quotes like statement?
But there's a better part.
Okay.
Not just that. But
so
it's
I don't
better.
Listen to him much.
Okay, so here I'll play it.
I've had patients go from stage 4 cancer to stage 0. So I have now seen where the end of cancer is coming from. I've seen how the war is going to finish. And here's how.
Dr. William Lee is a Harvard trained.
So see how he what they do is here's how. They'll go through and they'll actually bleep out parts. They'll say, here are the 3 things. It's beep, beep, beep. And like, so a lot of the videos, it'll actually, in the intro, they'll play the beeps. So you're like, I want to know what you just said.
No.
And that's why I think
that's good.
That's really heavily produced.
Yeah.
But I think you either have to go to that level or you don't do any of that stuff because otherwise it's kind of pointless. Now, I guess you could add the layer of like the intro. It is more work.
I would rather do what Diary of a CEO did and like use a quote from the podcast, put it at the beginning and be like, they want to hear where that, like, what is that context? It's, the story loop. You've opened a story loop and they're like, I need to close the loop. I need to know what happened.
Right. Yeah. It does a really good job of that. So that would be good. I like the underlying music that they have underneath it. That's pretty good.
If you look at like my recent stuff, we've done that. We really ramp up this intro. We put a little music behind the intro. We put the text on the screen during the intro and that's it. Like after that, it's literally just plain old talking, cutting and couple texts here and there.
So we were talking a little bit about branding a little bit. And I want to come back to that where you're talking about billboards. So I'm not a proponent of billboards. I'm not a proponent of TV ads or or radio, any of that, just because the cost, there's way more effective ways of doing it, but it does work. It's one of the things that does work, but it has to be like a total branding play. It can't be like, I'm throwing out billboards for 3 months and let's see how it works. That's not, like, you can do that with Google ads. You can't do that with that. It doesn't make sense. So you want to talk a little bit about that part of it? And maybe you disagree. I don't know.
No. I do agree. And like, I'm huge on branding. I'm huge on just literally gaining more awareness. So like, one of my marketing philosophies is, if more people know you exist, the more money you're going to make, because you have more at bats, you have more opportunities. So if you just want to grow your business, just let more people know that you exist in whatever way possible. It literally doesn't matter. Is that shaking hands? Is that posting more on social media? Is it running ads? Is it posting more billboards? Doesn't matter. If more people know you exist, you have more opportunities to make more money. So with the billboard, if your billboard looks like everyone else's billboard and sounds like everyone else's billboard, they still don't know you exist because it looks like everyone else. So I needed the billboard to have a unique message or a unique thing, and that's going to make you now become aware.
Let's design a billboard right now. Let's do it. Let's come up.
So like, your personal injury, okay? What is a normal personal injury billboard like? This is what I would do. This is my marketing philosophy for the law firm, for every client I work with. I say, what is the normal?
Okay.
We're doing opposite.
So here's what I think. The firm I worked for out of law school. I'm gonna give him another compliment. I gave him one before. I don't normally do that, but I think he does a really good job in one thing with it. He makes it very simple as opposed to a lot of other ones. So the majority of them are something about the firm name, injury lawyers, and a phone number and like pictures of them on it. That's standard. That's pretty typical. But what they typically do for the most part is they put too much on there. The thing that he did was he created this, and it's the same one from 2008. They're using the same design from 2008, but I think it's effective. He created it in a PowerPoint slide, and it was their phone number, a picture of him. It was him and his brother. His brother passed, and the firm name, and that's it. But it's a total part of their whole overall. They've got TV commercials. They've got this late night infomercial. It's called Wild. That's kind of, we'll talk about off the air, but it's kind of wild. But like, I think it's simple. It's part of their branding play, so it works for them. But the standard, I'd say the more standard one is it's a picture of multiple lawyers, a lot of things on the billboard, a phone number, and the firm name. But it's too much stuff is usually what it is. That's what it is.
So one of my favorite ones, when I'm driving down to Seal Brooks Derrick, we'll give him a shout out. On the side of the road, we have hurt bad, call Chad. It's great.
I saw one similar to that. It may have been that one, but
it makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of them doing it. So
don't wait, call, take.
Yeah. I think one, you can get away from like the hurt aspect. So you could, I'd have to think of it, but like something that comes to my mind real quick, and I don't know how this would even relate, is a white or like a rainbow with a unicorn jumping over the rainbow, because you're going to see that and be like, what is this?
Makes me think it's Squatty Potty.
And it just says something like, car wreck, I can help.
Yeah,
because it's so basic and simple, but like the whole image is a pattern interrupt. So when you're driving down the road, you see all these like lawyer billboard. It's almost all lawyers driving down the road. Then you see a rainbow with a unicorn jumping over the rainbow. And it's like, what?
Yeah. Okay. So let's improve on this. I like the idea of getting their attention, even though it's in a wild way. I do. So you've got the pattern interrupt. I love pattern interrupts. If you're in this is a rainbow. If you're in a funk, think about what your morning routine is and just do something completely different and do that. It'll help. It'll with the pattern. But back to this, what it's missing and what 99% of billboards are missing is what's in it for the client. That is where like it's missing something. So I think if you have the unicorn, the rainbow, and I think if maybe you had like a pot of gold on the other side, where there's a competitor in St. Louis. They say call 4, get more. That is like I'm going to get more money by calling this firm.
Yeah, I think
so that's what's in it for them.
And I'm 100% in. Like I think you're spot on with that. So like if I sat down and really thought more about it, I think it's you either need to spark more pain, like avoid doing more of this, or you need to increase the benefit of like get more of the thing you want. So, but really clear, really concise, as small amount of text and words as possible. So like we created and Tiff actually came up with our slogan. It's we help people make smart legal decisions.
That's it.
Simple, basic. And then when you start breaking down every word, it's like, oh, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
I can't improve it.
That's it.
I use the least amount of short, concise, punchy words as possible to convey what we do.
Yeah. And now to make that shorter and even punchier you have to find a way to make it shorter and punchier for a billboard.
Right.
Because people are going by. Some of the silliest ones I see is like people QR codes on there. I'm like, you put QR codes on a billboard and you're asking people to go out and drive.
Yeah.
And like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I also think some of the more impactful ones are, I'll give another competitor, Brandon Crouppen, some credit. They'll pick a cause and they'll like say something about the cause, like supporting some group. And I think that's
a good idea.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I know there's a guy down in South Carolina that does like bicycle accidents, and he gives out helmets for kids. And you could do something like 1,000 helmets to children in 2025. Law firm name.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
And like a photo with a kid riding on a bicycle, like kids, dogs, babies, they all sell. So like put a picture of them.
One of the most brilliant ones I've heard is X percentage of every settlement goes to this burn foundation. Yeah. Like we're like, yeah, it's like that's a pretty good one because it's related to injury work and all that. I think that's pretty good too.
I think anything you can do opposite of your normal, what you would see, like if you know where your billboard's going to be, look at the one that's next to it or before it,
right,
and say, I'm doing literally opposite of that. If that one's dark, mine's going to be light. If that one was red, mine's going to be green. Like just literally opposite of every single thing that billboard is, because it's going to be a pattern interrupt.
We're going to start wrapping things up to get you to the airport, but what is from like a branding marketing standpoint, like what is your plan for your all's firm? I'm curious, like how, because we've talked about a lot about AI over the last few weeks and all that. Like there's a lot of things we've been talking about. Like the world is shifting, and I wonder what if you've thought of. I'm sure you probably have given it that much thought. Like what's the approach you're gonna take over the next year or so?
I mean, I think there's two things that are going to happen in the world, and I'm gonna go on both of them. So I'm not gonna avoid or get rid of one. I think there's going to be a huge group of people that jump on AI and they want everything as convenient as possible. They don't ever want to go in person. They want to make things as easy and simple as possible. We're going to do that. But I think there's a huge opportunity to focus on physical goods, in-person events, the personal relationships, because with the AI technology that's happening, I think that's great for you to make your law firm more efficient. I'm 1000% in. Like if I could do only AI right now, I would. But with that being said, people are going to be missing that relationship. They're going to be missing the physicalness of
they already
things.
I've been saying this for years. They already are. They're missing it. Yeah.
Like one of the things we're adding, when you go do a closing, you show up to our office. Can you do e-closings? For sure. But when you walk down the hallway, I played college football. I want it to feel like going through a tunnel to a college football game. And so when you go in your closing room, it's like, oh yeah, like
that's pretty cool. I like that.
And then I want to take photos and Polaroid, so they literally leave with their closing photo. And I want to have it in like a little, almost like a hockey card or baseball card hard case, and give it to them so they can like keep it like a keepsake. So like little things like that, I think is going to be really, really important over the next 5 years, because who else is doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's trying to be automated and offline. Well, I'm not going to remember that one. I'm going to remember the experience I had with these in-person things.
That's incredible. I love that idea. Let's wrap up with you telling people how to get in touch with you if they want to hire you for marketing stuff.
Probably the fastest, easiest way, honestly, is Instagram, Ryan Weber Marketing, and DM me. If you're not on Instagram, get on Instagram. But yeah, Ryan Weber Marketing on Instagram.
I mean, I think the biggest kudos I could give to anybody is like, if we hired you and we've hired you, it's like to do work. So like, it's like, we obviously believe in Ryan. So for the longest time, I've called him Jeremy. Just
It's perfect.
It's kind of crazy. So if I ever call him Jeremy Weber, if I have on the, it's because it's just like it's stuck in my head to say.
Shameless plug. Go to freaking MaxLawCon 2025.
Oh, there we go. Like,
you're welcome.
Yeah,
Tyson.
thank you. I appreciate that. But no, I've given you this credit. I've talked about you. The text I'd sent you. I do think like you've got a brilliant marketing mind. So I love it. So hire him if you got some legal work or not legal work, some marketing work that you need done. So,
Yeah, I can't do legal work, but
Yeah, no-
definitely will help with
yeah.
marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, man.